The Calmlands, a wide plateau that stretches on forever, silent except for the sound of the wind. At first glance, it feels like emptiness, but in truth, this is one of the most significant places in all of Spira. For summoners and their guardians, the Calmlands mark the final stretch of the pilgrimage, the last breath before Zanarkand. For the people of Spira, they are a monument to sacrifice, where the greatest battles against sin were fought. And for us, the players, the Calmlands are a deliberate pause, a chance to explore, reflect, and prepare for the most intense story beats of Final Fantasy X. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today, we will be crossing the Calmlands together, uncovering its history, its role in Yuna's story, the secrets it hides, and the developer choices that made it one of the most memorable fields in the game. If you are enjoying the videos I am making and want to support me further, consider becoming a member of the channel to get access to exclusive perks. I will also be streaming on Wednesdays weekly at 8 PM on Twitch. I will have my link in the description below if you want to come along. All of this information will be available on my weekly posts on the channel, so you know what to expect. So make sure you keep tabs on those so you are in the loop. Now, let's dive right into this. The Calmlands carry a history written in blood. This was once the stage of Spira's greatest battles, the battlefield where summoners and armies tried and failed to defeat sin. If you take the time to speak with Megan, the wandering historian, he explains that long ago, this plane was a great battlefield. Many battles were fought in the Calmlands, but when summoners first defeated sin, the land was named the Calmlands out of respect for those who had fallen. The irony is clear. The Calmlands are not calm by nature. In fact, because of its wide landscape and distance from civilization, it is the most apropos location for summoners to have their final battle against sin. They are calm because of what was lost. The silence we hear is the silence of absence, of the lives that were extinguished. From a design standpoint, Square intended this history to be felt in the geography itself. The endless horizon, the sheer emptiness, it contrasts sharply with the temples, forests, and bustling towns that come before. The Calmlands feel like a graveyard stretched across the sky, a reminder of both Spira's cycle of death and its fleeting moments of peace. For summoners, this plateau is more than another step on the road. It is the threshold between the familiar and the inevitable. When Yuna and her guardians arrive, the tone shifts. Lulu observes the land with a quiet solemn. Tidus, new to Spira, feels uneasy. And in these moments, we sense the pilgrimage tightening around Yuna like a noose. Game director Yoshinori Kitase once remarked that the Calmlands were deliberately designed as a calm before the storm. After hours of linear travel and temple trials, players are suddenly set free in a vast open space. That freedom mirrors the character's uncertainty. A moment to breathe before being forced up the narrow linear path of Mount Gagazet and into Zanarkand itself. But the Calmlands are not only a memorial. They've also become a strange hub of survival and commerce. Here, adventurers gather to capture fiends for the monster arena. The keeper of the arena has dedicated his life to studying Spira's creatures, offering Yuna's party rewards for capturing and fighting them. On one level, this is pure gameplay, giving players access to ultimate bosses and rewards. But on another, it reflects Spira's culture. Survival here means violence. Fiends are both danger and livelihood. Even after sin has passed, people make their living from conflict. The developers had placed a monster arena here deliberately. After hours of linear pilgrimage, this was the moment to open up optional content. It is a design choice that allows the Calmlands to feel like a hub, a crossroads not only for summoners, but for the player's own adventure. In the center of the Calmlands stands Rin's travel agency. At first glance, it's just a rest stop, a place to buy items and save progress. But the choice to put it here does carry weight. For summoners, it is the last true shelter before Zanarkand. Here, guardians share quiet conversations. Lulu wonders aloud about Yuna's resolve. Waka, who is usually cheerful, admits his worry about what lies ahead. And Titus, still struggling to grasp the cost of the pilgrimage, asks whether Yuna truly has to sacrifice herself. The developers included this travel agency as a narrative pause. In game design, this is called a breather zone, a place where tension dips just long enough for players to catch their breath. But in story terms, it is quite bittersweet. This cozy lodge is fragile, surrounded by nothing but the silence of a battlefield. The warmth of its heart only highlights how cold and empty the journey beyond will be. In fact, this may be a small detail, but there are many small details that take place here that don't necessarily contribute to the main story, but add more to the content and the lore to the characters. For example, the scene with Father Zook was meant to enrich the lore behind Waka and Lulu, as they were once his guardians and they had all embarked on the journey. And of course, the monster arena is a big side quest in the game that is usually done post-game, or at least just before the final battle. There are a couple more features that we're going to get to later into the video that sort of highlight this point, so we will get back to it. The Calmlands also reward curiosity. This is where the pilgrimage splinters into hidden paths, each offering players the chance to shape their own story. In a more hidden part of the Calmlands, Remium Temple beckons. There, the enigmatic Belgemine challenges Yuna to test her Aeons in a ritual combat. A summoner must be tested, even if it is painful. Through these duels, Yuna grows stronger, and Belgemine finds herself released from her role as an unsent. Now going back to my previous point of adding features that don't directly contribute to the main story, but more to the world of Spira, this temple and its connection to Belgemine is another example. To the west lies the Cavern of the Stolen Faith. Here, the party encounters Yojimbo, a mercenary Aeon who will only lend his power for a price. This cavern also conceals one of the game's longest-running side quests, the Tale of the Stolen Faith, spirits trapped in rebellion against Yevon's teachings. Now, here is another side feature, as we have figured out here that the summoner that we fight for Yojimbo has a connection with Lulu herself, as Lulu was once the guardian for this summoner who died in the Chamber of the Stolen Faith, and this is where we fight her Yojimbo. As for players exploring the HD remaster, the Calmlands conceal even deadlier trials, the Dark Aeons. These super bosses are Square's way of recontextualizing the land. Once a graveyard of the past, the Calmlands become a gauntlet for the most dedicated players. The Calmlands endure as one of Final Fantasy X's most powerful locations, not because of bustling towns or intricate puzzles, but because of what they had withhold. The emptiness is intentional. It is both a design choice and a narrative statement. For players, it offers freedom after hours of linear travel. For the characters, it embodies silence, reflection, and the inevitability of sacrifice. All summoners must pass through the Calmlands on their pilgrimage, and all will come to understand the true cost of the calm. So the next time you cross the Calmlands, stop for just a moment, look across the endless plateau, and remember, in Spira, just as anywhere else, even the calmest of lands carries echoes of sorrow. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing, as well as consider becoming a member on the channel if you want to get access to some exclusive perks. Other than that, this is Enzo signing out, and that, as they say, is that.